In this video, I will show you how to replace the rear parking sensors in a 4th generation Kia Sportage. The parking sensors are an important safety feature that helps you detect obstacles when reversing or maneuvering in tight spaces. But if one of the sensors fails, you might notice a few common symptoms. Constant beeping when no objects are nearby, the parking assist system not working at all, or a checked system warning message that appears as soon as you shift into reverse. The good news is that replacing a faulty sensor is simple. You don't have to remove the bumper or take apart any trim. All 4 parking sensors can be accessed from under the rear of the vehicle. Before replacing any parking sensor, it's a good idea to confirm exactly which one is causing the problem. The easiest way to do this is by using an OBD scanner that can read Kia parking system codes. When a parking sensor fails, the vehicle stores the fault code in the parking assist control module. By connecting an OBD scanner to the diagnostic port under the dashboard, you can quickly scan the system. Once the scan is complete, look for codes related to the parking assist system. The scanner will usually point out the exact sensor that's faulty. Since all the rear sensors are located inside the bumper, you will be working directly above the muffler. The muffler gets very hot after driving, so allow enough time for it to cool down before you slide under the vehicle. Touching a hot muffler can cause serious burns, so always make sure it's completely cool before going anywhere near it. Also, double check that the parking brake is engaged and the vehicle is on stable level ground. Once the vehicle is secure and the muffler has cooled down, slide under the rear of the car. Look up towards the inside of the bumper and you will see the backs of the parking sensors. There are 4 sensors in total, spaced evenly across the bumper. Each sensor sits inside a small plastic housing that locks it into the bumper. This housing has 2 tabs on the sides that hold the sensor firmly in place, with a wiring connector plugged into the back. First, disconnect the wiring connector by pressing down on the release tab and pulling it straight out. Now before you pull the sensor, it is very important to note that this sensor isn't just clipped loosely. It's held in quite securely. If you just grab the sensor and start pulling straight back with force, you risk snapping the sensor housing right off the bumper. That's exactly what happened when I was pulling another sensor. I pulled a little too hard without pressing the tabs properly, and the housing actually broke off the bumper. The housing is not very strongly attached to the bumper. It's just a lightweight plastic piece held in place with a little bit of glue. When it breaks off, the sensor will not stay in the place anymore, so I had to glue the housing back on the bumper. It's a bit of extra work and a hassle you definitely don't want to deal with, which is why it's so important to handle those tabs carefully and avoid putting too much pressure on the sensor. I made this mistake, so you don't have to. Now let's get back to removing the sensor. Once you have pressed the tabs, you can gently pull the sensor straight out of the housing. Take your time and ease it out little by little. The sensor should slide out easily when the tabs are fully released. Here is a close-up of the parking sensor. This is the part number. Now take your replacement sensor and slide it straight into the plastic housing from the backside of the bumper. Push firmly until the 2 side tabs snap into place, holding the sensor securely. Make sure it sits flush and even in the bumper opening. Next, reconnect the wiring connector. Push it in until you hear or feel a click, confirming that it's locked in properly. Repeat the same steps if you're replacing more than one sensor. Since all 4 rear sensors are accessible from under the vehicle, you can change any of them without removing the bumper. Once the new sensor is installed, it's time to test the system. Start the vehicle, shift into reverse, and check that the check system warning message is gone. Move behind the bumper and make sure the sensors detect obstacles and give you the usual beeping alerts. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to VJoin for more DIY automotive videos. Thanks for watching.